What's up, everybody? The DA here, walking through the streets of Osaka, Japan. Just decided to get out of the hotel on this trip. My son is actually taking his Japanese classes right now. He's in the middle of class. I said, all right, bro, we just had breakfast. I'm not gonna wait around for you. Let me get out here and let's walk the streets, see what Osaka got going on. This is kind of like a residential area of Osaka. Let me flip this around so y'all can see it. You know, nice little spot. This is the little family mart. This is where we go and get all of our groceries, and well, it's not really groceries, it's just snacks. Honestly, we have been snacking our asses off, probably unhealthily, but you know what? Japan is a walk-in city, so you'll walk it all off in just a matter of time. But look, I don't want to talk about all that. I want to talk about this Mikey Madison situation. You guys have already heard, I'm pretty sure, that Mikey Madison is saying no Star Wars for me. All right, that's the chick that just won an Academy Award for Best Actress. And you know, we've seen this in the past when actresses like Brie Larson, you know, she won an Academy Award and she jumped into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know, and you know, other, you know, major actors. You know, we've seen Liam Neeson, obviously, you know, Ewan McGregor. You know, these guys had already established themselves at that point in time as good actors, and they're saying, you know what, I'm good. No Star Wars for me. So it's like, okay. So at this point, what do? When the top actors and actresses are saying, no, thank you. Which way should I go? Which way should I go? I'm gonna go across this. I think that's a referendum on Star Wars when you see top actors and actresses no longer wanting to rock with your franchise. You know, it tells you that, hey, where is Star Wars at? Normally, this is a big payday. We'll get exposed to a lot of fans that may not know our work. You know, it's an opportunity to really expand my brand as an actor or an actress. And now these cats are basically like, no thanks, I'm good. I think I'm gonna walk across this particular location right here. This is like a nice little, I think I'm making too much noise. You're in this state now where, you know, nobody trusts this franchise. Nobody trusts what's going to happen to it. Kathleen Kennedy is no longer trusted. You know, pretty much everybody in the Star Wars fan base is kind of just checked out. So again, it just begs the question, at this point, what do you do? Oh, this is a small little street. Let me kind of show you guys where I'm walking at now. Yeah, small streets, very narrow, but a lot of little shops and stuff along this area. This is nice. Okay, much different than what we would see in America, obviously. You know, one thing I got to say about Japan is very, very safe. You know, you walk around, everybody's pretty much friendly. You don't really feel like you're in any danger, you know, of, you know, getting into trouble or somebody jumping you inside one of these little alleyways or whatever, you know, so it's kind of cool. But anyway, back to this Mikey Madison situation. Again, I feel like when it comes to Mikey Madison, when it comes to top level actors, you know, again, this is the new A-list. I saw an article talking about her as one of the members of the new A-list. And you want to make sure that you get your career going in the good direction, you know. That's just the way it is. And now we are in a state where these actors, they don't feel like Star Wars is a good career move for them. You always got to make proper career moves at this state of the game when you're a top level actor. You want to make a good career move, and going to Star Wars at this point, messing around in this franchise, you know, not necessarily a great career move. Now, Ryan Gosling, he's already, of course, established himself. You know, he's a top dude. All right, he is absolute A-list, top notch. And I think even if Ryan Gosling takes a bad role, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this Starfighter movie, but let's say this is a bad move for him. This movie flops, it fails. Ryan Gosling is already established. He's a made man. He ain't got nothing to worry about. You know, he has nothing at all to worry about. So he'll be good. But I think I should cross right over here. he'll be absolutely fine regardless of what happens. But somebody like Mikey Madison could end up like Brie Larson, right? Brie Larson just got started. She really legitimately just got started, and her career was kind of derailed. You know, I think Kong Skull Island was a, solid movie for her, but jumping into Captain America hurt her. There's no question at all about that. Or Captain Marvel, excuse me. That absolutely hurt her brand. So, there's another Family Mart over here. These little joints, they are everywhere. All right, these little Family Marts, they are absolutely everywhere. But yeah, so to me, the smart thing at this point for Mikey Madison to do, you can see all the bikes, man. There's nothing but bikes up in this area. The smart thing for Mikey Madison absolutely to do is to kind of kick back, wait to see how things fared out, before she jumps into any major franchises. That goes for Marvel, that goes for DC, that goes for Star Wars. Any big franchises at this point, I wouldn't mess with them. What I would seriously think about doing is going into something absolutely brand new, okay? Like finding an absolutely brand new franchise that doesn't have any connection to a Lucasfilm, maybe even staying away from Disney entirely, all right? Because we saw what happened with, these Disney princesses, I would probably maybe try to avoid anything going on right now with Disney. And I would focus heavily on jumping into a franchise that is brand new, doesn't already have a gigantic fan base, maybe like a medium-sized franchise where the fans are super excited. And then really digging into, okay, what are the creators thinking? Are these creators going to give us what we want? That's a good question. Are the creators, the people who are making this franchise, are these guys committed to making something of worth? I think I'm gonna just go back up this little street here and then turn back around. It's kind of an overcast day out here too. They say it's supposed to rain later. That kind of puts a damper on things. That's why I wanted to get out and get my little daily walk in before it starts raining. So I'm gonna walk for a little bit more. But anyway, what do you guys think about that? You got a Mikey Madison basically rejecting Star Wars. And again, I think that's a referendum on the entire franchise. Regardless of the fact that, Ryan Gosling did his thing. Regardless of that, this is a giant referendum on that franchise. Hado Motto. What is that? I might have to jump in on see what Hado Motto is about. That's interesting. Okay. But again, what do you think about the situation with Mikey Madison? Smart move? I think so. Where should she go from here? Where should her career go? Should she start thinking on the levels? I think I might go over to this Hado Motto and see what they got in there. But should she start thinking on the level of, perhaps going in a different direction with her career, maybe just staying away from franchises altogether? Because sometimes these franchises, if you screw them up and you don't do them right, you don't pay attention to what the fans want, you can make a huge mistake and maybe destroy not only the franchise but everybody associated with it. So think about it from that standpoint. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Jump down in the comments, give me your thoughts and opinions. I'm gonna go over to Hado Motto and see what they got going on over here. All right, but y'all take care. See y'all on the next one. Peace.